Hello, in this service learning project video, I will be talking all about the IMNF conference on sexual health and identity. I was a part of a team of 5. We call ourselves the Sexual Health and Identity Squad, or SHIS team. This conference was designed for high school students to explore the concepts of sexual health and identity and took place on the Auraria campus on March 10th, 2017. The idea for this conference was crafted as a capstone project in my University Honors in Leadership, or UHL program. I've been working with a wonderful team of 5 other students throughout this entire year: William, June, Elena, and Vikasini. One of the best things we were able to do as a team was play to every person's strengths and abilities. We all have different majors represented in our group, and all different life experiences we brought to the team. One thing we all had in common, though, was the fact that we did not find our sex education classes or information presented about relationships in general to be as comprehensive as we would have liked. This was the idea that sparked the IMNF conference. In planning for the conference, our team was very focused and dedicated to the topic. We had bi-weekly meetings that allowed us to create detailed action plans for each individual person and our team as a whole. Also during these meetings, detailed minutes were kept, as shown on the right, and we took time to do personal life check-ins and group emotional self-care. Our topic of sexual health and identity is something that can be hard for a lot of people to talk about. In our society, sex is still seen as a taboo. This is not benefiting students, especially high school students, who are finding themselves in situations where they can't express their needs and don't have enough information to make smart, informed decisions when it really matters. In the state of Colorado, it is left up to the school districts to decide what sexual health information is taught. In the Denver Public School District, it is up to schools to decide what health curriculum to teach. During a meeting with the DPS Health Director, Sean St. Savor, I learned that at Manual and East High School, there are no required health classes. He identified these 2 schools as having a need for supplementary sexual health information to be presented. We made these 2 schools our main focus for outreach, and both were able to send students to the conference. After a few planning sessions and many hours reworking our goals and plans as a team, we found our main driving forces behind and reasons for creating the conference. We aimed to address the discrepancy between information on sex and actually making effective, empowered decisions about sex. And we wanted students to be able to access information, tools, and practice in communicating through and about sexual decisions. A skill I brought to the team is that I am very organized and good at crafting schedules. This made it possible for me to create an organized scheduling system for the conference that fit the time constraints given by the schools. Having a time schedule made it a lot easier for us to communicate with schools and presenters. Our first big hurdle was pitching our conference to the schools. We had overwhelmingly positive feedback from the people that we spoke with and quickly established connections with staff and administrative personnel in the schools. William and I were co-leading the communication with Easton Manual, and we maintained bi-weekly communication with our contacts starting in October. It took a great deal of in-person and on-the-phone communication, partnered with understanding on both ends to keep these relationships strong. We really wanted the students coming to this conference to gain the information most relevant to their needs. In order to achieve this, we went into the high school classrooms and had them sign up for which session topics they were most interested in attending. While this sign-up was happening, we had an activity for students to complete to start to get them thinking about what influences how they make decisions about sex and sexual relationships. Using a simplified version of Bronfenbrenner's theory of ecological development, students mapped out things that influence how they think about themselves and their sexual decision-making process. Then they brainstormed ways that they could be a positive influence for others in those same social spheres. Furthermore, I was in charge of contacting some of our presenters, getting them on board with the conference, working out our dates, and working with them to design their sessions. I reached out to Planned Parenthood in the Phoenix Center and met with them multiple times throughout the year. In these interactions, I had to be enthusiastic and share the passion that I had for this topic. There is no way that these collaborations would have been successful if there was not a mutual understanding of what the end goal was. So, not only did we need to communicate effectively the goals of the conference, but also ensure that it was aligned with the goals of the organizations. Leading up to the conference, we created branding, advertised on social media, at the high schools and around campus. One of the most daunting tasks was taking that personalized student choice survey and formatting it into something comprehensible for each student. We also created volunteer, presenter, teacher, and SHIZ team schedules. Our team also spoke to many offices on campus seeking donations for different swag or giveaways and marketing. We ended up bringing in about $300 worth of CU Denver merchandise. This was handed out to students in their personalized bags, as well as in a drawing at the end of the conference to encourage students to turn in their feedback forms. One of our team members, June, was able to write amazing grant proposals, and the conference was funded by 2 different grants that we won, along with fruit donations from Whole Foods. Finally, the day of the conference arrived, and it was one of the best and most chaotic days of my life. Most of the coordination of students and presenters had happened leading up to the conference, which was nice on the day of. We had to rely on our volunteers to help make sure that the coordination was a success and students ended up where they needed to be at the right times. On the day of the conference, unfortunately, one of our planned presenters, Girls Inc., did not show up. This left us with 25 students that did not have a first session to go to. Instead of going into an all-out panic, I was able to stay calm under pressure and use on-the-spot problem solving to work with my group and figure out a solution. Luckily, our team had built a great relationship and we were able to communicate with each other about what was happening and get all of the students into a similar session. At the conference, our presentation topics included media and sexuality, being an active bystander, LGBT+ in the self and the community, birth control and contraceptives, as well as healthy body image and self-care. At the end of the conference, we felt that we had achieved our purpose. With upwards of 80 students from DPS in attendance and overwhelmingly positive feedback from students and teachers, the students will now be able to take and utilize resources in their community to advance the conversation of sexual health and identity. I am very grateful to have been able to work with the team. Without their combined spirit and dedication, this conference would never have become a reality. There are many things that I learned about myself and what it takes to collaborate in many different situations through this service learning project. My main takeaways that I will be able to utilize in many ways as a teacher and as a teammate are to always be open and honest. Don't be afraid to communicate what your needs are. In the end, this helps everyone. Stay organized. This was the most important thing that we did as a team. Without organization, the day of conference and meeting with all of our presenters and students and teachers would have just fallen apart. I also learned it's okay to rely on team members. I don't have to do everything myself. That's what being a team means. A setback doesn't mean stop. Every problem can be solved. And it's really important to make short, actionable items and speak in terms of the interests of others. It's not just what you need, but what the whole group needs and what the community needs. And that's all a part of the collaborative process. The SHIZ team isn't stopping here, though. We are creating data analysis reports to analyze the student and teacher feedback, reporting that to Easton Manual High School, presenting the conference at RACUS, the Research and Creative Activities Symposium, and exploring what the I Am Enough conference might look like next year. Thanks for watching. For more information, you can find us at Shiz is Cool on Facebook.